Brunner's Kitchen. Chop 'em, dice 'em, smash 'em. Cooking fajitas for my classes. Tasty, delicious, what's happening? What's happening? Brunner's Kitchen.
Okay, welcome to Brunner's Kitchen with Mr. Brunner. So, first thing is we're discussing recipes. My wife is filming me right now. I've been working for a very long time to perfect my fajita marinade and my fajita recipe. If you come over here and join me, what we got right here is we have some skirt steak. Now, one of the secrets of making great fajitas, apparently, and I'm testing this out for the first time, is that you want to dice or cut your fajitas against the grain, right, acrossways, so you get it nice and tender. And you want to make little strips like this right here so that you can put these on the skillet. Now, I tenderize these. My recipe so far was called for, we have a little bit of fajita marinade right there. We have some salt, right, HEB sea salt. We have some chili powder. That's not mine. And then if you will join me over here, we also have right here the lime juice. Now there is a secret recipe, like a secret ingredient, right? So what you're supposed to make is about 4 ounces of lime juice. I'm still trying to squeeze these limes so I have enough. But the secret recipe is this right here. Can anybody guess what it is? Anybody guess? No, probably not. Pineapple juice. Now, you would think that the acidic limes would be the thing that breaks down the enzymes of the meat. Talk to Mr. Barajas if you want more about the science stuff. But it's actually the pineapple juice that has some specific ingredient in the pineapple juice that tenderizes meat. Now, if you put too much of this in here and you leave it for too long, it'll turn all of your fajitas into this gooey mush. And so you have to perfect not only the amount, but also the time. Now, we have 2 separate bags testing different things out, right? We have them diced right here. I'm about to add my fajita marinade to both of these, and then I'm going to experiment in the kitchen. But that is part 1 of Brunner's Kitchen. So, ready to go? Ready to go? Okay, so this is what we got. Now, this is the fajita marinade. This is what the finished product looks like right there. That is the fajita marinade, okay? Key part is marinate this for at least 2 hours, okay? And then try to squeeze out all of the oxygen in the bag, right? So you have a nice little vacuum sealed pack right there. Now come over here. I'm gonna show you what the marinade looks like. Okay, now, if I can figure out how to link this at the bottom of this video with the measurements and everything like that, I'll do that. Now first, we have 3 cloves of garlic minced. You can just buy this stuff at the grocery store. Right, so you put in a couple scoops of that. Then it is a tablespoon or a teaspoon of sea salt, teaspoon of chili powder, teaspoon of this fajita seasoning. You can also just use some other different stuff. You don't necessarily have to use fajita seasoning. I just have this around. Now, 4 teaspoons or 4 tablespoons of this lime, right? You have to squeeze it out. Our neighbor just gave us a juicer, so I use that. Look at that little box right there. Now, I usually just squeeze these by hand, but this time we have a little juicer, so I use that. This is probably the hardest part of the entire thing, is fresh lime juice, 4 tablespoons. And then 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. And then, as I told you earlier, the secret, right? The crushed pineapple, right? Just the pineapple juice. Now, what you want to do is you want to add this, right? That's going to be marinating for at least 2 hours. I'm going to add this pineapple juice about 30 minutes before I fire these things up so it doesn't get too mushy and nasty, okay? So we got that. And then we have this. This is the finished product. I just got done putting all that in there, right? You want all of the meat being touched by this marinade, okay? And then you Ziploc bag it. You seal all of the air out, and then you just go ahead and put it in the fridge. And then part 3 will be when we actually fry these bad boys up. We'll have the tortillas and everything like that. So stay tuned. All right, Brunner's Kitchen. We got my second bag of marinade right here. We have the hot cast iron skillet, as you see, set to about medium high. I got the skillet ready to go. We're gonna see, I'm gonna dump this stuff in by hand. Now I'm gonna let this cook for probably for about 5 minutes. So it doesn't get too greasy and charred. Check back then for a done dinner. Look at that. And tortillas going. Have the full meal. Okay, now we got part 3 of Brunner's kitchen. Now this is the most crucial part right here. This is the actual cooking of the fajitas. Now I think I put a little bit too much marinade into this cast iron skillet. You can also do it on the grill. That's the way I normally do it. I'm testing out with the cast iron. Got the grilled veggies. Now I could talk for days about about how to pick your jalapenos, but we're a little touch and go right now, so I'm gonna get back. Look at that. Look at that. That looks pretty nice, right? I'm gonna do another batch where I'll talk a little bit more about it after I perfect my recipe. Until then, stay tuned. Okay, now this is right when you know it's done. Now what will happen is all the marinade will start getting soaked up, and then you'll see this right here, right? The meat will get a little crispy on the outside. You want to stop right before that happens, right? Because then it's still going to cook itself in pretty much all of the oils and marinade after you get done with this. So this is going to take Cracker Jack Timon hands, like a surgeon, right? Surgeon's hands. All right, to be ready. Possibly you might be able to see this. This is my first batch right here. It's just a tad bit overdone. Just a tad bit overdone. It's a little bit too crispy. You can see that on the end. But this right here, that turned out perfectly. So the key is just if you soak it in that marinade to make sure that you take it off once you start seeing all that marinade getting cooked out of the pan. What you want to do is you want to finish that with a little bit of, we got onions, some bell peppers and jalapenos, and then some tortillas. Put a little guacamole, maybe a little pico de gallo, and then finish her off. If you have any questions, reach out to me. You can reach me by email. And that concludes Brunner's Kitchen, part 1. All right, so this concludes Brunner's Kitchen right here. This is the finished product. You have the beef fajitas. Now, this pretty much the skirt steak, the onions, the tortillas, most of the things can be acquired for about probably like $12 to $15. You can feed probably 3 to 4 people with this one meal. So that breaks down to like probably $3 to $4 a person for an incredibly delicious meal. Now I will task y'all with coming up with your own kitchen recipes. We'll talk more about that later. Good night.